Well, I learned a lot. Mostly it was a lot of what not to do. And one thing I did not do was get out early enough. I waited for the Suffolk, Nassau, and Queens Libertarian parties to endorse me and to nominate me as a Libertarian. I felt I shouldn't raise money and then not get the endorsement because I feel like I would have to give that money back. Well, that was a mistake. I should have started out right away. So I'm going to run again in 2014, and I'm starting this month, starting right now. And here's the thing that we didn't have. We didn't have enough money. We're up against the Republicans and the Democrats. They've got a ton of money. In fact, they've got our money. And what they do with it is make the situation so difficult for anybody does not have automatic ballot access. That's why what we have to do, we have to get that magic 50,000 votes for the governor's race. Now, how do we do that? Well, I went to a candidate training on Constitution Day in 2000-something, September 17th, and it was American Majority training class. And the American Majority, which was a Republican conservative group, taught us how the Democrats did it through ACORN and all that sort of thing. Very interesting to have the Republicans teaching you what the Democrats did because they were so successful. So here's what I'm suggesting. For us as a Libertarian Party, which is the only platform that truly makes sense, there are a lot of independent groups like the Constitution Party, the Independent American Party. They're very religious, great groups, but they turn off people because their first priority is their particular religion. The Libertarian Party, what makes us exceptional in America is that we have individual liberty, and we don't have that anymore. I had one woman come up to me and says, "What does live free mean?" She was serious. What does live free mean? I didn't even understand the question. I mean, it means, you know, you live and you're free. And we're not. Between the Patriot Act and the AA. There's a group on Long Island right now. It's called Save Long Island that Ed Weaver and Gigi Bowman have done. And I can tell you, it's a non-political group that shows every month some topic that really is of interest. And I'll tell you, every time I go, I'm disappointed because things I believe is shot out the window. So, I mean, but it's very interesting. One was forced vaccinations and Generation RX with the big pharma people. Another one was the legalization of hemp, which is not pot. It's a product that's absolutely incredible that would save our economy just on its own. You can buy it here, but it has to be irradiated from Canada or overseas because you can't grow it here. Another one, next month, we're going to have one on survivalism. How do you survive in a collapsed economy? But not to digress, to go back to what we have to do. We're encouraging, from the Suffolk County Libertarian Party, we're encouraging everybody that wants to run for office to run for office now. Whether it's mayor, whether it's assembly, whether it's legislature, whether it's school board. We have got to get people out there. Now, when I went out for my petitioning, and I have to say, I was one of the only people on Long Island, I think I was the only person on Long Island, that actually made the ballot. I was able to get 4,202 signatures on my petition. It was largely because of Mark Axon and Ron Moore, who were the biggest supporters that I had, to provide some money to get a paid petitioner to get those signatures. And we did it. Now, they provided for other people, but they just didn't work. They expected the Libertarian Party to do it for them. Well, let me tell you, the Libertarian Party is not going to do it for you. You have to be committed to do it yourself, and then libertarians will come and help. And that's just the truth of things. Anybody disagree with that? That's good. That's unanimous, right? So, what I'm suggesting is everybody that wants to run for office should be encouraged to run. And the way you win, which is what the American Majority taught, and what the Democrats did with ACORN, is you have to do the GOTV. What that means is you identify your voters. You want 50,000 votes? You identify who is committed out of it. How many people are in New York State, Mark?
In New York State, 17 million.
And how many are registered, would you say?
About 12 million voters.
10 to 12 million voters, and we need 50,000. What the I mean, come on. What we do is we have to identify who the 50,000 votes are. Or, 60 or 70,000. And once they've identified, start now. The mayoral race is coming this year. Let's start getting people who have committed to vote in an independent, liberty-minded way in our database and make sure that they get out and vote. That's what you have to do. You find out how many votes you need, and then you concentrate the last month on getting those people out to vote. You can't just put your signs up, say your platform, and then expect people to come out and vote for you. I was up against the Republicans and Democrats, which they make it so. In my district, we needed 938 signatures, valid signatures if I was a Republican or a Democrat. As a Libertarian, I needed 3,500 signatures. And that's valid signatures. And that means that if they had 3,500 and they find one or two that are not registered to vote or there's something wrong with it, like I had one person sign Donald Duck, another one sign Mickey Mouse, guess what? You're under the 3,500, you don't get it. Autumn Moore just made it. And if it was challenged, she probably wouldn't have been on. I probably wouldn't have been on. They didn't challenge us because they didn't take us seriously. And I predict that the Liberty Movement is taking hold and will be successful. And what we have to do is stay together, get people of like-minded, which could be Democrats or Republicans. We've got to be a party of inclusion, not exclusion. Get people involved and let them know. When I went out to get my petition signed, and I said I was a libertarian, would you sign my petition? They walked away. And then I went after them and said, well, why did you walk away? Well, you're a libertarian. I mean, what does that mean? I'm a wacko? Well, yeah, that's what they thought. But when I said I'm running as an independent, which is true too, they signed my petition. And I didn't ask them to sign my petition, I learned. You don't ask them, you say, sign my petition. And they do. Because most of them are sheep, and they'll come out, you just tell them what to do, and they'll do it. It's true. And they did it. And it took me a long time, and thanks to Mark, who provided Marcy, who was wonderful, and Ron Moore, we had somebody that knew how to do this. And she taught me how to demand that they sign the petition. Of course, Gracie, my 8-year-old daughter, she got more signatures than anybody. Because when I asked for a signature, people would tell me no. Nobody told her no. She's this big, and she's amazing. Right? You know her. She's amazing. So here's what I'm suggesting. Let's get the Libertarian Party of Manhattan, Brooklyn, Staten Island, Queens, wherever I'm living out, Dutchess County, everywhere else. Let's work together to get out the vote. When we decide on who we're going to support for the mayor race, let's get out that vote. Let's find out who they are and do it. You can put your name up, your signs up, be on TV commercials, go to people, and just hope that people are going to come out and vote. That's not how you win. The way you win is you identify your voters. Karl Rove said that. Sorry to say, but he was right. Karl Rove said you identify who your voters are and you get them out to vote. And that's what you concentrate on. And this year, or 2014, when I'm running, I'm going to work for any candidate that's from a libertarian point of view and an independent-minded thinker. I'm going to support. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to break both my feet this time. I broke my feet last time. And if it's Kristen Davis running for mayor, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get signatures. And I'm going to find out who they are. The signatures that we get in a petition, those are the ones that we start with. You have people that have committed to vote or sign a petition at least for a libertarian. When you identify yourself as a libertarian, we've got to change that view. And it's going to get worse. Because once we're above the radar, the Republicans and Democrats are going to hit us. And they're going to come after us. Just like the Republicans did with the Tea Party, the Democrats did with Occupy Wall Street. But if we're a party of inclusion, and we include anybody that cares about liberty and freedom, there's a way of doing it. With 900 military bases around the world, what are we talking about? You know, I mean, you want to solve the problems of this country, it's not so difficult. Anyway, that's all I have to say, but I would like to know if everybody is behind us to get together. If you're interested in running for office, run for office. And get in touch with Mark Axon and Ron and figure out what you want to run for, and we'll find out how many votes, when you petition, when your dates are, and then we all work together. Thank you very much.